Hello YouTube, ZiggyNo back with Sports Cards Daily. Today is March 2nd. Today I'm going to talk about what's going on in the hobby and just give you a little reminders of a few things coming up. First of all, let's take a look at Sports Cards Collectors Daily. Great little news and notes here. I recommend checking it out. I'll try to drop the link below. I will just say, look, auctions are on fire. If you just go to the front page here, I think a T206 sold for 2 point something million. The Lucas sold for 4 something million. These auctions are on fire. I'm not even going to ask where the money's coming from. It's big money. What's interesting to me, though, is there's still dips in some of the market, and I'll show that in a moment to you. Another thing I want to bring to your attention was this program with eBay Bucks. I'm not a big eBay Bucks person because I really don't buy a lot through eBay. I sell more, and I don't even sell a lot on eBay. I'd rather sell on other platforms, but I don't use eBay Bucks as much. But I thought this was interesting, and I'm wondering what your thoughts are. Is this a big deal to you? They're changing their program? And what do you think about eBay's current changes to sports cards in the last year? You think that's been good? They changed the return policy and so forth. So that's been something I've been keeping my eye on. I think the bigger news has been around PSA and the price changes. I will point out real quickly, yesterday we took a look at kind of how in the last 60 days some of the high risers. Well, here's some of the big droppers, I guess. And some of these really shocked me. I think what's really shocking to me is all of these are basketball. And all I'm doing here is I'm running price movement by player, last 60 days, and I rank them. So show me the bottom ones. And I think it's ranking based on total sales volume, maybe, or I think I did it on change. Anyway, look at these players, man. Zion, Ja, Hero, Rui at 51, and RJ at 36. Some of these guys are just getting crushed. I will say in the Star Stock Challenge, I have one of these players, or two of these players or more, and I'm being crushed in that Star Stock Challenge. So I'm going to ask that you guys, you got to help me out this week. We got to make that final. We don't want to get cut this week. If you go out, and again, I don't spend as much time showing you guys all the channels I recommend. I'm really trying to make it more around content. I love some of these channels, and I will be highlighting a few of these as we go through them. But the big buzz here, if you look at kind of my subscriptions and what I'm following, is really all about PSA prices, right? PSA's increased prices. PSA's increased prices. There's a couple other comments here that I think are really interesting. I really enjoy listening to Brandon's updates. But again, the PSA raising prices does have some pretty big impacts. And coming over here, reading the article here, if you just look at what these impacts are, look at this. 100% increase. This just blows my mind. My first thought, I just want to say, guys, when I saw these PSA price increases, and again, they're not small. It's not like they went up 10%. And let's just remind you guys, a year ago, if you compare where PSA prices were a year ago, or say 2 years ago to where they are today, it is disgusting. So let me just say this to everybody out there who's like, oh, I'm so glad that Nate, a collector, bought the PSA. Nate's a collector. He's going to do wonderful things. I'm not mocking you guys, but Nate's a businessman. And the almost $1 billion they spent, well, guess where they're going to get that money from? They're going to get it from us. I guess kind of say we created this beast, So it is what it is. I'm still using PSA. I thought it's interesting they're suspending the crossover service. I think to me that just means people will crack more. But, PSA has got kind of a stranglehold. I will say, and I brought this up before, and I'll talk more later in the week probably about this. I think HGA has the biggest impact to be a game changer. Now, guys, the key there is they need to expand and scale fast. They need to scale fast, and they can scale through franchising because they're not using graders. And I'm not going to spend too much time on this. Because they're using an algorithm instead of graders, it's easier to scale that system. Now, at the same time, I don't see a competitive advantage. In other words, if I'm BGS or I'm SGC, why would I not come out with a similar SGA-like solution that's using, again, technology to grade with a human that eyeballs it at the end and slabs it with a nice little color for you? There's just a great market for that. And when PSA raising prices, man, woo-wee. PSA is raising prices across the board, I think, on everything. So keep that in mind. It's definitely the buzz of the day. Another thing that's going to be coming up, today is Tuesday, March 2nd. Tomorrow is going to be Donruss, basketball release day. And it's also just remind you that you'll see this in retail as well. Donruss does have a big retail presence, which is cool. They normally had, I think, a holiday box. I wonder what they'll do this year. Maybe they'll do an Easter box. I'm sure they'll have mega boxes. They've never had mega boxes of Donruss retail in the past, but I bet you, in fact, I should have looked that up for you guys tonight before I did that. I'll look that up for you tomorrow. But what I want to bring your attention to is the price of this hasn't even been listed by Panini yet, right? I'm going to suspect it's going to be around $900, $800 from Panini, which again is still crazy because remember last year with Zion and Ja, when this stuff came out, I think around 350 to 500, we thought that was crazy. And here we are a year later, and I can't tell you the top 3 rookies of this rookie class. Now, I'm not going to go into lecturing this. It just is a major shocker to me. Now, again, I think retail will be on fire. People will be chasing that. I'm, again, not a big fan of Donruss because of the paper. I will look at this stuff if it comes up on Star Stock because maybe grab a few Star Stock A's and see if I can't grade those. Interesting to just look at historical value. Look at some of the look at Luka Donrusses and Zion Donruss and see how those are doing. Another quick note to mention. Over on the Topps site, one of the things I really like about Topps, and I do want to commend them for this, guys, is they do give you more information than any one of the other vendors when it comes to print runs. I'm on their print run archive, and I'm looking at the Blake Jameson archive, and I found this pretty interesting. I've been following this because I want to get, look at this. I love this. They give you the print runs of the boxes, which I think, again, we need to support a product like this more. I mean, you're going to get more and more people buying it, which is going to increase the print runs. But the fact that they do this, Panini doesn't do anything like this, right? They don't do any print run on-demand products, which I think they do really well, only that they have basketball and football. But if they did it, they would Dutch oven it. I'm sure they'd find some way to maximize it. Remember, these guys are doing this. Look at this price, $19.99 for a box that they have a print run on. I want to bring people's attention to this. I applaud Topps, and I hope more people applaud them by voting with your dollars. Panini still just gouging me, man. I'm going to do a video later on too. I'm still waiting for redemptions. I've had so much problems with redemptions from Panini. I think it's probably because, well, they know that they probably know me, if I could say that. One other thing, real quickly, on Sports Cards Daily. Was following Nicholas Claxton last night. If you were following the Nets game, really great game. And Claxton had a breakout performance, his high. And I went on to see how his prices changed. And they did change. I mean, look at this, March 2nd. Look at all these purchases that are taking place on March 2nd. I thought it's interesting how these B prices, look at the B prices, went from like 80 cents up to we'll look in a minute, to a lot. But look at this, $7.75 to 10, right? I mean, that's a pretty big increase. Look at this, $2 for a B. You see that? It was 80 cents. Now it's $2. On one night's performance. Now, how long will that hold? We can take a look at that later on. But again, Star Stock, when you see players perform, you will see that impact in the Star Stock immediately, which I'm a big fan of Star Stock. Love the platform. I will mention they're definitely, feeling all the attention because I know I've been waiting for cards to process there. I'm also waiting for cards to get graded there. But again, I'm still very, very happy with the service and very, very happy with what these guys are doing and building. So I do use Star Stock. I'm not going to recommend them or give you any code with my name on it. You can probably figure that out on your own. So that's kind of what I highlight today for Sports Cards Daily. A couple other videos I will bring to your attention. Do check out Personal Finance Dad. Had a really great chat with Jim Beckett. I listened to them talk a little bit about Marvel cards. I thought that was pretty cool. Not that Personal Finance Dad needs any shout-outs. The dude's almost at 9,000 subscribers. Really big fan of him. I've been following him since the beginning. Northeast Ohio does a really good breakdown and his thoughts on the impact of the PSA effect. That does a great job with that. I really enjoy listening to Slab Stocks talking about the Luka, and obviously they talked about PSA prices. Again, PSA prices are pretty much the theme of the day. Check out Brandon. Brandon does some great conversations. He's going to be doing a live later on in the week. Kind of shared some new vendor or new content providers to me. LP Cards does a great reveal of HGA. Again, big fan of what these guys are doing. I'm not using them. I'm not signing up for them. I have my plan right now. It's working the way it is. But again, I really like what they're doing. I think they can be disruptive to the market. So again, check out what's going on. If you have any questions, I'm thinking about putting out some other content pretty soon here, maybe more detailed stuff. But I want to get back in the flow. We're just getting the daily stuff going again. Look for any recommendations, thoughts, comments, and hope to see you back tomorrow. Have a great day.